Alright, it's that time of the week. It's time for a Jojo review. So this episode being a direct continuation of Malone getting a blood sample of Bucciarati's. We now finally figured out what his stand is capable of. It's a pretty weird stand. It's like remote controlled, but it still has consciousness, so it's its own person, but it'll listen to Malone for the most part. You know, like if Malone gives it an order, it'll listen to him, but it has its own consciousness. So it's kind of like Mista's Sex Pistols, but it's a far distance stand. So the episode starts out, and he's terrorizing this woman because he needs a woman to be like a surrogate for his stand when he creates it. So he's asking her all these questions, and in the end, his laptop that he's typing it into, like, grabs hold of her and I guess, uses her. He doesn't have sex with her. I know that much. She made sure to check. The idea is, he uses everything that he knows about her, all her health conditions, types it into the computer, and he uses part of Bruno's blood sample to have it so Babyface, the stand, can track Bruno and find him. So sure enough, the stand Babyface is born, and it's kind of still clutching to its mother like a baby, but it learns through Malone's teachings, like, oh, this is what it means to kill people, here are the bad guys you need to get a hold of and kill. And I think Babyface killed his mother, but I guess it's kind of on the table because he's like, oh, I'm hungry, I need something to eat, I need something to drink. And then the next moment, you know, he carves up his mother. I would also assume that she's dead just because she was acting like a bitch at the beginning of the episode, and that's kind of a thing with anime and TV shows. Whenever they know somebody's gonna die, but they don't want the audience to focus on that person, they'll make it out so that person is like a complete bitch or a complete asshole at the beginning of the episode, and then when they die, you don't really care that much because it's like, fuck them. Yeah, Malone actually takes the time to stress that Babyface is developing a lot faster than he anticipated. As soon as he, like, kills off his mother, or whatever happens to her, she might have turned into an object, she might have turned into a Kool-Aid that he drank afterward, I don't know. He goes off after Bruno. So while this is happening, Bruno and the others are hiding in the turtle. They're in a truck, and there's kind of a funny scene where the truck driver notices that his hamburger is gone, and Sex Pistols kind of stole his hamburger. So he's looking for, like, where the heck his hamburger went, and he sees this turtle underneath the seat. He's like, what the heck is this? And Mista knows that this is going on, so I guess he just panics, and he just he like punches up through the turtle and just whacks this guy right in the face. I guess they knocked him out or threw him off the road because he crashes his truck, and then they're like, I guess we gotta find a new car then. Mista, what happened? I don't know. I didn't see nothing. So they find a new car, they get arrangements made so that they can steal this car. And Bruno is watching over Trish. He hasn't told her anything about stands yet, it seems. But it isn't too long before Babyface has already captured Trish, and then in the process also has captured Bruno. This is really where we get introduced to Babyface's stand and understand a little bit what it's capable of. But of course, we have to have Babyface, like, hyped up super high. We have no idea what's going on, and we just know that, oh, well, our heroes are losing. This stand must be invincible! It's actually pretty interesting because Babyface has an exact opposite ability to Giorno's, and I guess that's kind of the appeal of him. While as Giorno can turn non-living objects into something living, he can turn living objects into something not living. It's like from flesh to something else, and from something else to flesh. That's the best way I can describe that. So as soon as Giorno realizes that something's off, he tries calling out to everybody else who's still getting the car situated over there, but then Babyface takes out a part of his throat, you know, takes out some parts of his legs, takes out one of his eyes. Melone hears all this happening through his computer and he's like, yeah, great job! You're doing so great! Kill this guy, let's get out of here. Oh, you captured Trish, and you know what? That's the main goal. You don't even have to worry about them other guys. So what Giorno does to like get him to reveal himself is he takes the key out of the turtle. Living things can't really be in the turtle once the key is taken out. So the stand isn't living. Babyface isn't living, but he had parts of Giorno that were living. So he flies up out of there, and then he has to kind of reveal himself, and he has to hide again. After taking all these different parts of Giorno out, Giorno realizes, wait a minute, I can just take a couple of rocks and turn them into the parts that he stole, because he has the exact opposite of his stand. In a way, I guess that puts him at an advantage against this stand user, because, oh, if he keeps on taking parts out of me, I can just keep on putting parts into me. Of course, Babyface tries to get away on his totally rad motorcycle, but Giorno just uses some roots and keeps him in place, and he freaks out. He tries to punch at Giorno to get him, and he does clip his arm off, but as it turns out, whoa, he meant for that arm to fly off. That was totally intentional, and he turned that arm into a piranha, and it's inside your body now, and it's eating you out. Now, I know that I'm not the smartest girl, but I don't know how the fuck that happened. I must have missed something big. But yeah, it's a fun episode, and it doesn't leave you feeling too unsatisfied. I felt like it was going to end, that moment where Giorno was on the floor and like, oh man, I can't beat this stand, and the light left his eyes. I thought it was going to end right there. And I was thinking to myself, man, that would be a really shitty way to end this episode, because hardly anything has happened, and I don't want to end it on a bad note. But we didn't end on a bad note. We actually ended on a pretty good note, which means that the fight's not over yet. Though I am not convinced that this fight is over. It seems like, basically, what I know about Babyface is that it's growing, right? It starts off like as a little fetus, and then it grew into a baby, then it was a kid, and then right now it's fighting as a teenager. It seems the motorcycle really does help that teenager feel with it, doesn't it? But I think it still has at least one more stage to grow through. Like, I think it'll grow again into adulthood, and then maybe it'll become more powerful. Maybe it has another trick up its sleeve. I do kind of wonder how this making a stand thing works with Melone's powers. I'm assuming that every time he makes a stand, he needs a woman to, like, be its surrogate, but also, does the stand ability change? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I can't imagine that the stand ability would change every single time. Maybe the personality would change, and maybe it dies afterwards, after it's completed its purpose. Maybe it dies off, and then he has to create a new stand. If a woman's in poor health condition, will it be less strong? Will it be like a super weak stand that you can barely use? I'm also assuming any damage done to Babyface won't actually be done to Melone, so he can just create another stand and then send that one after them, and then create another stand and send that one after them. So no matter how many of these stands that they actually defeat, they aren't going to get anywhere unless they defeat Melone face on. And because he's off away somewhere safe, that's probably not going to be happening anytime soon. But we'll get to that episode when we get to that episode. It was kind of a short episode, not that much happened to it, but I'm glad that I at least know how the stand works, because I was super confused, as I usually am, during the beginning of this, when I just see him randomly cutting people up, and I'm like, what? Where is he? How is he doing this? And then, no, he's the cabinet. He can transform into non-living things. So, as per usual, remember to like the video, comment below what you think is gonna go down. Don't comment spoilers. Feel free to check the description for a Jojo surprise. I always just have random links to Jojo merchandise. And I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye! Program restart. Shutting down all systems.